There's sound. Woo! Oh my goodness. That was intense. Okay, I got it. 17 minutes to prepare the submissions and coffee. So enjoy the music and I'll mute myself. You don't want to hear me cursing over things next time. Yep.
Nie zjesz, ty go zjesz, ty go zjesz. Nie zjesz, kurwa tak nie może być. Ilość jest, ty go zjesz, smaku nie ma. Śmierci jakbyś się spociła, kobieta pracująca, bieliznę piorąca nad rzeką. Ilość jest, wygląd jest, smaku nie ma. Śmierdzi jakby się spociła, kobieta pracująca, bieliznę piorąca nad rzeką. Ilość jest, wygląd jest, smaku nie ma. Yeah. Ilość jest, wygląd jest, smaku nie ma. Nie. Nie zjesz, ty go zjesz, ty go zjesz. Nie zjesz, kurwa tak nie może być. Oh yeah. I've tried to escape from that alone. I've researched what I could do. I've deployed and checked some file systems, so I can see whenever things go wrong. But I've got a bad sector and my backup is down. I've trashed all my data and I'm out of space. I'm down to one copy and the FS is bad. I need to recover, but I'm out of space. I've got a bad sector. I've got a bad sector. I have neglected my backup, so when the failure came, I was unprepared. The trouble has got me in my worst time, and I don't know if I can get my files back. Oh, I've got a bad sector. My data and I'm out of spares. I'm down to one copy and the FS is bad. I need to recover, but I'm out of spares. I've got a bad sector. I've got a bad sector.
Woo! Hello there. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Looking at the chat. I'm gonna scroll things. Show me the chat. Oh no. Don't say chat is disabled for this live stream. It isn't. Holy snap, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I assume you can see me now and hear me because everything shows that you should. So the chat does not refresh, so maybe that's... What the hell, I'm gonna refresh the page. Okay, sorry for that. Lighting is a bit weird. Okay, so yes, enable live chat, please. I'm offline. I am not. What? Okay, sorry, this... What is it? YouTube, you're drunk. Go home. Okay, now it's... Okay, yes. All right, I see everything. Man. Wrinkles. Don't like wrinkles. Nah, still wrinkles. Can't do much about it. All right. Oh, we're live. Hey, it's Unfa and you're watching Unfa live stream. This is December 2019. Accidentally, it's the 1st of December, which is pretty funny because yesterday it was in December and today we have the live stream for this month. Oh man, that was a rough start for a live stream. I was not expecting that, and I was not particularly enjoying what happened. So I figured out there is a bug in Mesa, which is an open source, open driver for ATI cards, sorry, AMD. And turns out when you do a certain thing in OBS, that is show yourself another view or have two screens or preview or something, on AMD cards, OBS can start eating up your kernel memory and just crash your system. Actually, it's not like OBS, it's the driver. And that happened last month, which crashed the stream twice. And today, of course, it happened again. So I've been debugging that and trying to fix it. And I finally learned what it is and how to avoid that. So at least that's that. So we should be good to go. And man, I didn't manage to make myself a coffee. So there's a question for you. Do you want to wait for a bit and I play you some more music and let me make my coffee? Or do you want me to omit my coffee and just get straight to the streaming? Make coffee! Rob, I love you. That's interesting. Oh. Well, that is interesting. Okay. It'd be better if you were awake. Okay. So I'm going to play you something. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't play it via the... I can't just open the other session. I don't know why. So I'm going to play it from an audio file. VLC. Yes, VLC. Oh, this ain't gonna work. Is it gonna work? It's not gonna work. Sure, it's not gonna work. Why would it? Why would it work? I see what I need to do. Okay, is that it? Okay, it works. All right. So this is a track I've been working on recently, and I want to show you the outdoor session and like talk about it, but there's something else I want to do. I want to show you a live music performance session I've created, and I'm going to perform on it. So I'm going to play this track. I can't like restart things because it's going to explode. So I'm going to explain everything in a while. I'm going to play the track and I'm going to make myself some coffee, and hopefully we'll be good to go in 4 minutes. So please hold on.
When it all falls down, I don't want you to stick around. When it all goes to shit, I don't want to be a part of it. When it falls apart, can you just please go eat my fart? There is one thing I want to tell you. There's just one thing I want to say. pissing me out! Hey yo, dipshit! Stop tweaking your tie like a fucking moron!
Okay, one more second. Just gonna bring it in. Oh, all right, I've got the coffee. Man, last month it was coconut cheese, and today we had some other similar emergency. Whoa. Beep bop, cue the relaxing coffee music. Yes. Okay, I didn't see the whole comment. I just tried to make it up. Okay, so that was a song called Crowbar, and I've been working on it on and off for a few years, I think, like around 2, or maybe it was just this year. So I thought I could, just say, I want to celebrate the announcement of Half-Life Alyx and just publish it. But no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. I just happened to be making a song about Half-Life, my vision of what is inside of Gordon Freeman's mind when he goes through the whole thing in Black Mesa. Yeah, sorry, I've become a Half-Life nerd. Never mind. Let's close that. And I'm going to show you what I've been making for the past few days. Actually, this is what I've made yesterday and today, because I wanted to do something about live music performance on Linux. I wanted to actually try and create a live electronic music performance using only open source software on Linux, perform it, and demonstrate how it works. So let's demonstrate how it works. Oh. Oh, will we see the hands? Yes. I'm sorry. This is the setup I want to show you. I apologize because the top camera is going to have some latency. I was unable to compensate that because it goes through my phone, from my phone through Wi-Fi. So I was like I would have to delay everything else, and I just didn't have time to do it because of the trouble I had. So I'm happy I even got this to work and to stream, because it was all about to blow. Oh, I think the music, background music was still playing. Oh my goodness, was it? That was... Oh no, that must have been horrible. I didn't disable the background music. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Okay, you can see my hands, though with latency. I know it sucks. Sorry, I can't do anything better. I don't have a second USB camera. So what we have here is Sec 64. It's actually called Sequencer 64. It's a live MIDI sequencer. You can trigger different things. Right now I have a bass line and a kick drum. And I have some effects. If the camera is in sync with everything. Damn, I forgot to check the audio video sync. It's probably botched. Shite. Needs a 303 bassline, this. It does. So this is comp feedback, this is comp filter, this is low pass. ABC syncs okay right now, better than last month, thanks. I'm... Whoa. Sorry. I'm gonna attenuate the plug. You see, this non-mixer right here, it's just as like for a static mix. Everything dynamic is being with the sound is being done in Carla. And all the dynamic stuff is being done, all the MIDI stuff is being done with Sec 64, and all the dynamic stuff with sounds, and all the synthesis is done with Zenitube effects inside of Carla. Glowing icons in Sec 64 are the playing ones. You can manually change the colors. I'm sending different stuff on different MIDI channels. For example, kick is MIDI channel 1. You can read the MIDI channels in the lower... No, sorry. In the lower corner is the key I use on the keyboard to trigger them. So I can, for example, you know, just toggle stuff with my QWERTY keyboard as I go. I don't need to have a super beefed up MIDI controller. I can do some stuff this way. I already made my coffee, thanks. So I think you could consider this to be a techno jam. So this pluck instrument that I colored in cyan, it's a super saw from Zyn-Fusion with a bandpass filter swapping from up to down, and I can control, with this knob I can control the cutoff, so if I make it lower, I can make it higher. Now you would need a macro to somehow stop everything at once. And go on a clean plate. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. Oh, and the moment is gone. Yes, first I made the first bass, of course, and it wasn't 404-ish, and then I listened to some reference minimal techno jams, and I thought, I need something similar to TB303. But this one uses it's a square wave, but it uses frequency modulation. I can control it with this knob. Can you see it? Oh man, this sync is bad. And this gives it some really nice, fun character. But the interesting thing is I can play both together. Hey, Luigi Verona! Yeah, I thought this is gonna be something in your alley, up your alley. Now the fun thing, both basses are bound to the same knobs, these two, so I control them together because I only have so many knobs. But this actually isn't that bad. See, I'm not really used to my layout, and I'm really chaotic, and I can't access it very well, so that's bad. If I learned the the layout of my keyboard very well, I could, perform much better. Also, there's a cue mode where you can press multiple keys and it will wait until the end of the sequence, and then it's going to turn it on or turn it off. I can show you. This is the cue. It's the cue mode, so now I can click on everything and it will disable all of that. And yep, it's gonna be disabled on the cue, and now I can just click and it's gonna start. Hello, Google user, you're a random guy, hello. All of that is synthesized with Zyn-Fusion or Zyn-Fusion rather, because Zyn-Fusion has this macro control system, so I was able to assign different things. Damn, this bass sounds cool. I also have some other patterns for the bass. Some instruments are size changed with the kick. You can see on the non-mixer there is a bus called kick sidechain. Everything sends there will duck when the kick hits, so when I add reverb to the kick, everything else gets quieter. I'm really new to this kind of music making, you can tell. But I'm starting to understand why people love it so much, and I wish I could have more knobs so I could do some stuff with the snare or something. Oh, we have no hi-hat. Pretty fun. I'm gonna disable the Q mode because it gives me better time resolution. I can just, trigger a part of a pattern instead of the entire pattern. So for, stopping something and making a build up and then just going on with something else, it's very good. There's a hotkey for using it, so if I learn it, I can use it better. Coconut cheese. I'm gonna stop this performance soon and just give you a show you how it's done, because that's the most important thing for me right here. I want to show you how you can make this your own. Wrong key. That's the end. Trippin'. Where's the coffee? Oh, there it is. Okay, cheers, mate. Okay, you have no idea how happy I am that this even worked. Thank you. Clap, clap. Very cool. Nice. Thank you. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that it worked. I was able to do this performance. I know I'm not good at it. I'm not a good live performer. But I wanna play with it more because I think it's a very interesting way of interacting with music. And you know what? I could use the recording of this live stream and just fix the synchronization later and just give a link so you can watch this with this top camera being in the sync. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, if it's worth the effort. But anyway, I would like to use all the stuff that I prepared to make some proper videos. So I would record stuff, I record a performance, I'll record everything and talk about how this is done, how you can make it your own. I also want to publish all the files related to this, and I want to show you how it's how does it work. All right, so where do I start? So my idea for a live performance was, first, I want to trigger MIDI stuff. I want to have synthesizers working live so I can trigger, work with the parameters, I can twist the knobs and change the sound live. Something like, if you just have a simple bass line loop, like, well, this one here. Oh my goodness. And you can tweak the filter live with a knob. That's already a lot of fun. And now you can tweak the frequency modulation amount with another knob. So you have two axes of changing the sound. And it's all overlaid on top of this sequence, which loops forever. So it provides some musical basis, but most of the expression and the musicality actually comes from how you change the sounds real time. How do you play with the faders? How do you affect the different stuff? How you stop and start the sequences in time to create a musical flow and an experience for the listener and viewer. And once again, I'm not good at this. I suck, honestly. You saw that. I suck. I mean, near the end, maybe I was getting a bit more fluent with that, but I should have perfect memory of the keyboard and how it relates to the sequences I've made, and then I could actually do a performance. So there are still some missing tools, like. I've been reading some ideas. I've been experimenting with Giada. I'm gonna type this, Giada, because I thought, it also has MIDI loops, so I could probably do the same thing. And then I thought, maybe I'm gonna slice my track crowbar and export it in audio and play it with that. And I tried that, but I found that it's not really. There is no flow. It is, but it's very unmusical because you're just playing back what you've prepared before. Here I have much more expression when I'm performing with that kind of setup because, I can twist some knobs and there I could only just press the keys. Also because the Giada for now only sends out a stereo mix, so I can't use Carla to process the tracks individually to low pass the drums or hype is the basis, and do this kind of things while I'm looping different parts of the song, which would be fun. But they want to implement that, but not yet. So I gave up Giada. I also tried when I was thinking about this sound loop, like audio loops being used. I thought maybe I'm gonna try and use this program called Loop. Now there's a remake called Lop or Loop. The names, the unpronounceable names. But I had many problems, and actually people said that they are using non-session manager to manage the projects, and it works good. I haven't used it yet, and I tried to do it like standalone, and I could not reproducibly save and load my work, so that went out of the window basically. And then I came back to Sec64, which was I was trying to use before, but I had other trouble. It was crashing all the way, and I reported that issue, and turns out it was some weird bug with a GTK theme. And also, the important thing is I'm using Sec64, but this is the Qt, or Qt as a official pronunciation is, the Qt framework. So this is a new graphical user interface. The great thing about it, it's scalable. The old one has a fixed size window, something like that, or even smaller, and you can't resize it because you just have extra space, and it just sucks. So I've discovered they have this new Qt based user interface, and it's really much better. It's a lot better, and so I tried to work with it, but then I had some configuration things. Okay, I'm gonna cover all of that stuff. So the basic, how this all works. We have Sec64. I've created some loops. Let me just edit the edit pattern in tab. This is a kick pattern. This is the basic kick pattern. I'm gonna just trigger it. Oh wait, what's going on? Why doesn't it? Wait. Why doesn't it sound? Oh, because I low passed it to hell and back. Okay, so that's the kick. How does this work? There's 4 notes, of course, and I'm sending this to MIDI through. I had issues, and I was hard pressed to figure out how am I gonna actually, wait a minute. I think I'm going to. Where is this? Okay, I'm gonna hide this. There's no need to showing it now. I had some trouble figuring out how do I send MIDI from Sec64 to my jack stuff. But finally I figured it out. I'm using the MIDI through port, which is provided by ALSA to jack bridge, which is run by Cadence. Here, this is it. And it creates this bridge, and it also exposes my hardware ports from ALSA to jack MIDI, which is, the controller. Well, now it would be good if you could see that. This one here. So, okay, I use that. So I use a single MIDI port, and I use multiple, there's MIDI input, but I'm not using any MIDI input into Sec64, so we can actually avoid that. Ignore that, sorry. And I'm using jack transport because I want Sec64 to send out BPM information to jack, so I can sync delay plugins and other things, possibly some other looper software. So right now you can see that it didn't really refresh. The tempo is 135. Can you see that? Oh, you can't. Ah, snap. Ah, there is it. Here it is. Yeah, there's the tempo. So now I set it to 135, but Jack remembered, Carla remembered. Stream is cutting. Do you mean there's trouble with transmission? Okay, do you follow me, anyway? Do you follow me? Are you following? Do you have any questions? Anything is super like weird? Should I just go back and talk about something else? Everything good? Okay, I see you say everything is fine. All right, so let's continue. So I'm using jack transport to communicate the tempo. And I started with this. I just made 4 quarter notes, send it to the MIDI through port. There was no other, because these were created when I loaded up a Carla project, and Sec64 was like, oh, I got more MIDI ports. You want me to use them? And it connected to all of them, and I had to disable them. And yeah, that was a bit weird. Alrighty, so MIDI data goes from here and it enters Carla. The whole project is made up of Sec64, Carla, and non-mixer. And these through are being launched by a very, very simple bash script that I created. I'm going to show you how it works and why it does what it does. And that means I can just run this script and it opens up Carla, non-mixer, and Sec64, and it loads all the proper projects. It also uses proper configuration for Sec64. I'm going to show you in this script. So this is the Carla project. I'm working in the patch bay, and you can see there's, oh yeah, Sec64 claimed all the inputs. That's crazy. Ignore this. So the problem is, you know, Xperry Base says, unfa! Yeah, hello. Hi. I see we have the same board. You mean you have MPK, Akai MPK Mini? Restart your internet. Yeah, it shows green status to me. Oh, there's 48 people watching, by the way. Hello, 48 people. Nice to see you. I hope you're enjoying this stream. I had lots of trouble doing this, but I'm happy. So you see, because Sec64 doesn't natively use jack MIDI, or it does weirdly a bit, I don't know. We have all these auto connections to different plugins, and this could be very good because we could have like individual synth plugins where we can send audio and we're not limited by the 16 MIDI channels. We can just select what we want. I think this could be actually a better solution, but I didn't figure this out in the beginning, so let's ignore that. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because the problem is, you know, we have Ardor here because I have your music submissions loaded up in Ardor in the background. And also I have the entire freaking live stream audio setup working in the background. It's this here and this stuff too. And unfortunately, I was unable to figure out a good way to separate the Carla instance where I do the live performance and the Carla instance where I do the live stream. So you can see here is another Carla instance, and this one processes my voice for the live stream. And you know, they both show all the items from both, all the plugins and all the routings from both. So it gets a bit messy. I have ideas for Carla how it could be made better suited for this stuff and how it could allow for better separation of things and also be more scalable. But that's a different topic. Okay, I hope I have everything separated. All right, so this is how my actual project looks like. Can ignore this. I was trying to. Mooney is a very interesting plugin. It allows you to program a Lua script in real time. I'm going to open the interface. Maybe I can just double click. I'm just afraid something might crash. Hopefully it's not going to crash. Yeah. So this is Mooney. Mooney is a real-time Lua programmable event processor. I wrote this script a few years back when I was jamming with some band using this small MIDI keyboard, and I thought the AK MPK Mini only has an option to switch between 4 MIDI channels. You hold this program button and you switch. Here you have channel 2, you have channel 3, you have channel 4, you have channel 1. But what if you wanted to have more, like 16? Well, you need to make some hacks. So I made this, which listen to a certain MIDI notes, basically 2 pads on this keyboard, on this controller, and one would shift the incoming MIDI notes to a different port up and one down. So I would go port, I'm sending on MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. I tried to get this to work. For this project I couldn't. It didn't work and I abandoned it, but it's still here in case I'm gonna get it to work actually. All right, so we start with the input. The input is here this ALSA to jack MIDI bridge. It creates two ports. One is for the MIDI through and one is for MPK Mini, which is this keyboard. So MIDI through is the input from SEC64. Bizarre Angelov asks, why did you load two Carlas? Well, because I'm doing the live stream using Carla regularly. Every time I do a live stream or record a video, I use Carla to capture the microphone's input, because there are two microphones, by the way. There's this and there's the other. And I'm doing some processing and I use a bunch of plugins to make them sound as good as possible. And I do mid-side processing to create a stereo image, slight stereo image from these two. So I need Carla to record videos and to live stream, but I also made this live performance setup in Carla, and there is a way to make them like separate kinda, but you can't set it per instance, so it would be global and would break everything. So I just figured, yeah, it took up some cleanup, but it works, as you can see. It's all working. Okay, so we have MIDI inputs, and I'm using two MIDI through plugins. It's a native. It's a built-in. Did I update Carla? Because this looks new. Wow, things changed. I must have upgraded Carla. Wow. Yeah, I updated everything because stuff was going haywire, and turns out it's a bug in Mesa. Yeah, I've been talking about this already. So there's MIDI through. Internal. And I'm using this just to, have a port. Whoa. No, I don't want to minimize Carla. Just to have a port, I can just, anchor as the stuff where the project begins, because this can change, Maybe I'm going to route this input somewhere else, but this is the start of all my inputs. And then I can route out connections to individual synthesizers. For example, this is the first one. This is the kick synthesizer. And it gets inputs from the sequencer, which feeds the notes, and it gets inputs from the controller, which gives the MIDI CC messages. Basically, this is the keyboard input. And also I have this Sherlock MIDI Inspector plugin. It's also a very good plugin, a very useful one. So it's now connected to the MIDI controller through. I'm going to double click it to open the interface. And you can see if I do anything, you can see exactly what's going on. I'm moving the knobs. This is what gets passed through. Yep. Oh, Rob Vandenberg says, me compiles QSEC64. Make sure you read up on GitHub how to pass parameters so it compiles the Qt GUI, because by default it compiles the old one. So I had to build it from source to get this to work, which was a bit weird, and also play with the config. So I'm going to post all that and hopefully, publish the info so everybody can use it easily. All right, so before I route it to the MIDI inputs, why can't I? Okay, something. And you can see all the notes on all the channels, because stuff is going on, I think, all the time. And yeah, or maybe this is just keep alive, I don't know. So then the stuff comes into this Zyn-FX instance, or Zyn-Fusion. I'm going to edit this and show you what's going on. So when you're driving plugins with live MIDI CC messages in Carla, you need to make sure you set a few things straight. So first thing is, Carla has a native way of controlling plugins or instruments, and it's here. So by default, it's going to be on channel 1. But that means there is a MIDI channel Sorry, I was looking at the chat. By default, you know, there's a MIDI. For example, if I enable this on channel 1, if I move this knob, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, you can see it changes the panning. Because that's, you know, okay, this is the 8th note, it's 7th, because that's defined in the specification, and Carla obeys that. But you don't want to do that unless you really want to do that. So I set it to N, which is none, and I reset these, because this can really give you a headache, and it did to me. Like you're making a performance, you're twisting some knob and now something pans from left to right, and you don't know why. You didn't set up such a function. So make sure you disable this MIDI control channel unless you actually want to use that. I would argue this could be disabled by default. Now another thing is, by default, plugins in Carla, they take up MIDI CC messages, but they don't pass them through. So this is this send control messages checkbox. You can see it's disabled. It could be enabled. It doesn't, but I'm not going to, you know, daisy chain these. I'm going to go straight to the source and connect all to this input and this input. Actually, only this needs to pass through the MIDI CC messages. So if I open up this setting, you can see it has send control messages enabled. If I disable that, now I can twist my knob all day. Nothing's going to happen because this plugin here, it receives the MIDI CC messages and they could drive this or some parameters inside, but it will not pass them through, which is crucial. So we have to enable this, and it's disabled by default. So make sure you have that. Yes. So this is like two things you need to look at if you want to use Carla to steer your plugins in real time via MIDI CC. Make sure plugins before them, even something like a MIDI bridge, have this send control changes enabled, and make sure everything has this disabled or set to nothing, because otherwise you're gonna have a headache, because it's gonna create unsolicited changes in your mix and stuff. I use MIDI through plugins to make sure I have, you know, something in my Carla project that is not going to go away because it's saved with the Carla project. This ALSA to Jack MIDI bridge, it might not. It might disappear. It depends on other factors. But this depends on the Carla project itself. So if I save it, I know I'm not going to lose the connections, and I'm not going to have to rewire everything from scratch because I run something before something and didn't forgot, whatever. This just saves me trouble. Also, I recommend you get this Sherlock MIDI inspector to have a sneak peek on what's actually going through your virtual MIDI cables. This is very helpful because you can determine like what channel are you sending. Are you actually sending messages? Usually I just use it to see if I am sending messages, if MIDI CC goes through. It helps you debug things like, why doesn't this work? All right, so I made a kick. Now I thought I would like to have a way to easily balance the levels after I'm, you know, done, and I don't want to. Doing this in Carla is gonna be a bit difficult. It doesn't have a unified mixer interface. I have heard some people were working on that. I don't know what's the status of this. So for now, I don't see any mixer in Carla, so I'm using non-mixer. Here is non-mixer. Non-mixer is pretty interesting. The thing is, you start a new project, you hit A. Oh. And you create a new strip. You can, you know, you can create multiple strips. You can call them something. You can change the amount of channels. Oh, snap. Okay, something doesn't work. Oh, something broke. We broke it. We broke it! Woo! Okay, now I have 16 channels. That's no good. Never mind. You can control the volume. You can mute it. You can also flip it. Yeah, I think I need to restart this. Hold on. I'm killing MIDI sequencer. Sorry, I'm killing the non-mixer. And now I just want to run it I don't want to run everything else. So you know what? I'm going to show you the script. Here's the script. It's super, super simple. First, it has the hashbang bin bash to define what's the interpreter. It's bash. Now it runs qsec64, which is the sequencer, the qt, the cute interface version, -c sequencer 64. It uses a default configuration. It's a config file that is shipped with sec64. But this configuration makes it so that you have these keys. You have, you know, your clips, your loops mapped to your QWERTY keyboard. Without this parameter -c sequencer 64, it's not going to work because it loads a different config where it's not defined. You could just define it in your config or make your own config and just define it here, whatever. I found this to be a quick solution that works for me. There's also -j, which makes it a jack transport master. Maybe I don't have to set that as a command line, but I did. And finally, there's the MIDI file I want to load, which is the project I've created, which is this one. It contains all the regions and, you know, just all of that stuff, basically. So this brings back the the sequencer up to speed, so it's ready to go. Then it loads up non-mixer, and it passes just one parameter, which is the non-mixer directory, which is this, where it stores all its files. And this is basically a project of non-mixer, which of course is what we use to control our audio mix. I also used it live to control my microphones. For example, if I mute, you can't hear me. And I use this sometimes. Like when I went out to make myself a coffee, I muted that, yes. So I'm using non-mixer all the time when recording and when live streaming. Okay, let's back to the script. There's an important thing. This AND character means that the process is going to be started and then it's going to be dropped into the background. So the script will continue. It's not going to wait until this program stops, because if there was no AND character, it would start qsec64 and then it would stop. I would have to close the sequencer and then it would continue and load up non-mixer. It's not what we wanted. So with this AND character, it's going to execute this, move it into background, and go and perform and execute next lines, which is launching non-mixer again in the background. Then it's going to sleep for 1 second. Actually, I think this is not needed because Carla takes a while to load. I could remove that and save it. I wanted to make sure that the sequencer and the mixer are already up and exposed their audio and MIDI ports before Carla is loaded. And then I just run Carla and again point it to the project file, which is this one, carla.carxp. It's a big one. It's 400 kilobytes because it's embedded. It has all the preset plugins embedded in it. So there's multiple Zyn of effects patches inside and other stuff. Bizarre Angelov says, you forgot to an AND or ampersand character after sleep 1 second. No, it's deliberate, because if I had this, sleep 1 second, and it would just run this sleep and it would immediately go and run Carla. No, I didn't want that. I wanted to run this and this simultaneously, then wait for a second, not do anything else. And then when this sleep command stops, then it's gonna run Carla. So I'm sure that everything else is ready. So Carla, when the Carla loads, is gonna see all the ports that we need, and it can restore the connections, because that's a very important thing that Carla does. It saves all the connections between plugins and controllers and sequencer and the mixer, and it stores that, and when I load the project, it restores that. So everything else has to be ready because it's not going to restore it otherwise, and the project is not going to work. All right, so that's the script. It's super simple. I could actually omit this here, but I just have it. I don't know. This is actually a very, very simple version of my live streaming script. I can show it to you. I didn't publish it because I didn't feel there was an actual need to do that. Yeah, this is my studio script. This is what I run when I want to record something or when I want to live stream. And it's quite a bit more advanced. It's also dealing with the webcam setup and, you know, restoring settings for my camera, like exposure and white balance and all of that. So it's perfectly tuned to my lighting, and it's not going to flicker and be too dark. And it's going to make sure that the green screen compositing is going to work because the exposure is set and everything. There's quite a lot of stuff in here, including setting up different windows and different parts of the screen, which is just convenience. You know, I just have to click this, run, and I'm just ready to go. I don't have to do anything else. And what it also does, it waits for the OBS to quit. It's starting OBS right... Where is OBS? Oh yeah, here it starts OBS. It saves the project, the process ID. My goodness, this live stream has become a programming tutorial. I hope you're not like, you don't want to quit. Like, I'm just showing this because this is like, there are session managers, but I never had luck. And unfortunately, no session managers is supported by all software. So I had a session manager, non-session manager would work for the non-mixer and Carla, but it wouldn't work for the QSEC64. So it's not gonna work yet, unless they all unify. And FalkTX told me on Sonoy that, actually no, he just said in his presentation, if you were there or you watched the live stream, you know, that he's gonna promote the non-session manager, Managnet, never mind, as the one and only, which is like the best standard. There's a ton of others, and I think if all of the developers actually go and strive and achieve this and just support non-session manager, then we're going to have some freaking unity, and it's actually going to be useful, because when you have non-session manager, you will be able to actually do everything, and finally they will fill their purpose. So what I do here is I save the process ID of OBS for later, and then I'm waiting, and in the end of the script, I'm waiting for this process ID to quit, which means if I close OBS, it's going to go further and just stop all the other programs which take part in my live streaming and recording setup. There's quite a lot of it, you can see. Actually, I'm not using Baudline anymore. And this too, yeah. But yeah, this is the unfa is currently doing something, and this is the music player script. Lots of stuff. I thought maybe I will publish this, but it's complicated. I don't want to, like, I wouldn't have time to actually explain it all, and without explanation, it's useless. Nobody's gonna just sit down and analyze this line by line and try to figure out why I did that. I would have to actually record a video and say why. So if you would like me to make a video about the super hardcore technical detail of my live streaming and my video recording setup, let me know. But be ready, that would be a very dry, technical, long and boring video. Something like, 5 hours of me just sitting and showing you code. Yeah, so maybe that's not the best thing to do right now. It could be good content for dev unfa. Yeah, maybe that could be a good content for the second channel where I do random stuff. But on the other hand, if no one's gonna see it, why take time to make it? I mean, that would take some effort to do that. Unless I do a super no-effort version. But then, I don't know. It's hard. So this is the script. I made this out of convenience, so then I can just run this one thing, and it's gonna start up everything, and it's ready. Okay, where are we? We've covered the sequencer, the basic of the sequencer, which is here. I've covered the Carla setup, actually the super basics of it. Nothing super advanced, and the non-mixer, which is just this. Yeah, it vaporized. So I'm going to copy this command. I'm going to open terminal, action, open terminal here. So I'm in the project. This is the fourth attempt. I had 4 attempts to create this project to show you how this works. Oh, no, that's not the thing. Whoa, snap. Okay. I'm pasting the command with Ctrl-Shift-V, and this is the non-mixer part. Now everything should work. I'm gonna... Wow, no. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, I know why. Because, of course, now the Carla connections are broken. Okay, so let's do it like that. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna close the sequencer. Whoa, did it? Oh, Carla just crashed. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Whoa. All right, so you can see this script ended. I'm gonna run it. Let's go clear, and now... Oh, my snappiness. Okay, it's probably Kasia using the laptop in the other room, and this Discord coming. Whoa. By the way, there's a Discord server, and it's public now. I wanted to invite you all, but I forgot. Oh, man. You can have, like, you know, we can continue the chatting once the live stream is over, because, you know, YouTube was going to cut off the stream chat. But with Discord, we can continue forever. All right. It's time to run the script. So I'm going to just, you know, if you run the program, you type a name. Like if I want to run Carla, I just type Carla. But if you run a script, you need to type dot and slash before the name, because you're not running a program from a standard directory that the operating system knows. You need to tell it, hey, I want to run a file in this very folder. So now I'm going to press tab, and it completes start.sh. I'm pressing enter. Okay, looks like it didn't work. Okay, I'm going to close this. Once again. You can still hear me. Nothing's broken. Oh, there it is. It's already there. Oh yeah, I didn't close it. This is what happens when if you forget to close your previous non-mixer window. It says can't load the project. So again, I use the up arrow to open up the previous command, press enter, and it runs and it loads. Okay, and it should be going. Now just press play, and we have music. It works. It works. Perfect. And we have our MIDI CC control. Okay, so we have like 20 minutes left before it's time to cover the submissions. Please, now it's the time to ask questions. If you have any questions regarding this live setup, please write in the chat. I'm going to now look out for these, and I want to, you know, fill up any information I didn't cover, which might be important. Oh, maybe how is the Carla configured? Because that's not trivial. Okay, that's the second thing. I want to show you something else. If you click here on this button fader, it switches to signal, and you have these XLR cables, and you can drag them and drop them to connect or disconnect stuff. So the plug, for example, is connected to the master. I can drag and drop, and now disconnects. If I drag and drop again, it connects. So you can manage jack connections with non-mixer. I didn't know that, I just learned it today. It's useful. You can also use LADSPA plugins inside of non-mixer. I didn't want to do that because I have no idea how to control them with MIDI CC messages. There is some way to control the non-mixer with MIDI. I didn't figure it out. Okay, looking up for questions. Did the QSEC64 fix the jack transport issue? Bizarre Angelov asks. I think they did. because it pretty much works. If you go to this transport tab in Carla, you can see that it pretty much controls the transport. Like you can control the transport and it sets the BPM. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, that doesn't always work. I think that's a pretty simple bug. It just forgets to send this information out on start, or maybe I should set something in. So, I'm gonna make this a little bit quieter, so it's just somewhere in the background. Okay, so yeah, non-mixer. It's pretty cool. I like it. I had some stability issues way back, but actually it didn't crash like in a few years for me. Maybe it's because I'm not playing with it much. I just set it up and it works every day. I have two instances of it right now. One is right there on the screen, and the other one is on my second screen, handling me talking and stuff. It has some very cool things like, you can have multi-channel strips, like you can have 4, 8, 16 channels in one and control the faders and everything. Okay, I'm gonna look for more questions now. What does coconut cheese taste like? Tastes like victory. Gore Ghost 8 says, "What software is that?" Well, I guess you missed the beginning of the stream. I'm using three programs right here. One is Sequencer 64. It's this one running the clips. The other one is Non-Mixer right here. It controls the levels of the things, And the third one, most important really, is Carla, which is a non-linear plugin host right here, where I have all my plugins and all the good stuff happens, and I drive my plugins with MIDI-CC messages, for example, right here in this in this hi-hat instrument. I control the reverb time with MIDI-CC, which is pretty useful for creating these build-ups. So I wish I could create some MIDI-CC macros, like have a sequence in SAC64 that would like send MIDI-CCs on different channels to like reset so I can twist all the knobs and then just hit it and boom, it resets immediately. So I can't just twist 5 knobs at once to reset it to get a good transition. And yep. Happiness. Oh, Carla crashed. Yeah, I get that a lot. Can you hear me still? You can. Good. So only the instance driving the Carla assertion ferial, blah blah blah. Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with the crash. This has everything to do with the other things. With Carla, the good thing is I can just click on the project and it's gonna load it up, and it will just continue working. That's where it will left off, which is pretty fun. Like, having it all in different programs, in different software, has its upsides that it's a bit harder to crash the whole thing because usually just one thing will crash. There's some issues with Carla. I have it crashing a lot. I think I'm gonna report bugs to FolkTX and also talk to him about maybe apping the game a bit. Pat Brady asks, what audio interface do you use? I use Behringer Euphoria UMC202HT, which is a 2-channel USB audio interface, and I like it. It's pretty non-expensive, but gets the job done well. Do you use FL Studio? I don't. However, I started making music on FL Studio 5 back in 2005. So I learned the basics on FL Studio, but then I matured a little bit in my mind and thought, I don't want to pirate software. I don't feel well. I want I want to be legit. I want to use free software because I don't have money to afford it. It has since changed, but still, I don't want to use proprietary software. I want to use free software and most importantly, liberal software, so that the source code is open and everybody can modify it and improve it. I really like the community approach to this. I know it can get some messy and it has its downsides. But I like this. With everything, it's pick your own poison. I picked open source as my poison. So sure, there are better things about proprietary software and there are worse things about proprietary software, as with everything. Now move your script to user local bin. It's in the path. Oh yes, you could move your script to your local bin path for something else, but you don't have to. And then you would have to like define where the files are, etc. So how I run this is I go to the project folder. I have like live music, fling yourself for, and in Dolphin, which is the KDE file manager, which I'm using here, you can press F4 and you have this little terminal window in the bottom, and then I can just go start, press enter and go. But you could also click on it and go execute. It'll do the same thing, but you would not have this command line output, so this could be easier to figure out if it doesn't work. And if you're making your own script, you gotta know what's going on if it doesn't work, or you're not gonna be able to fix it. Simple as that. So is FL Studio that good? I don't think that's a question for me. Okay, I need to, Okay, I think I see a discussion about FL Studio on something. Bizarre Angelov says, if properly configured, FL Studio performs better on Wine compared to native Windows. That's interesting, because probably Wine has less complexity to it because it doesn't emulate everything of Windows. Maybe. I don't know. That could be interesting. Huh. Is pure percussion all synthesized? Asks Garoslav. Yes, it's all synthesized live. Everything you hear is being made by a synthesizer right now. Here's the kick, here's the hi-hat, here's the kick, here's the bass, this one. Here's the snare. It's this one. Yep, there's some more. Oh man, Ardor gets in the way. Get lost! And there is also this pad. It's a long, I made it too long. I should have made it shorter. It has a low-pass filter in it. I'm gonna show you. Double clicking, will it open the user interface? Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, no, it's not gonna. Let's go to rack. Where is bass 2? Plug. Oh, there's the pad. Okay. Okay, maybe. Oh, I didn't show you how I actually make the assignments. Okay, I've made an entire video about using macro-learn in ZynSubFX, so go watch that if you want to learn that. Just type unfa macro-learn and you will find it. But what I'm doing is, here I have, 3 filters assigned to the slot 0. And how this works is that, you see I have this disabled, nothing. And in parameters, I have slot 1 and I assigned MIDI CC3 on channel 1. And this is the third knob on my controller. So I'll twist this knob. But in order for this to work, we have to have it connected, and all the plugins need to have this enabled. This send control changes. And there's also a pair of comp filters. Actually, it's the same, and I'm tweaking them with, let me open that. And they have assigned 2 knobs, you see. CC7, this one, and CC8, this is. So I have a comp filter, can play around. And in combination with the low pass filter inside of the synthesizer, which reveals or dampens the sound a bit. There's things to be done, like there's sounds you can make with that. Now I wanted to process this in stereo, so I just right-click and cloned. Can't do it anymore, I don't know why. Yeah, Carla is a little bit flaky, honestly. And there's a Call Vintage Delay plugin, which... oh snap! It has this enabled. Okay, but I don't think it's connected to anything. Yeah, it doesn't have even anything connected to the events input. So we're on the safe side. Nothing is gonna break inside it because it doesn't receive any inputs. These do. so these have to have this disabled, or things might be. Yeah, they have this disabled. Also, they have no MIDI output, so all of that is grayed out. Can you see that? Am I not? Like, snappiness. You know what? Let me do this. So you see that all the stuff in MIDI section is grayed out because this plugin has no MIDI output, which is good. There's also this pluck instrument. Which is a fun one. I think it's the last one I've made before the stream started. It's using a bandpass filter, which I can control with a knob. It's the same one used for the pads, so you know I have overlaps because I was, as I said before, I wasn't able to create something that would give me banks of controls. If I could, have each pad change the MIDI channel on which I send the MIDI CC messages, I could then in Carla just assign different parameters and change the MIDI channel, and now I have another CC messages layer. And that would allow me for a lot of stuff because I could extend this set to have multiple tracks and have all that stuff overlay, but I would need the MIDI channel switching, so I wanted to use this Mooney LV2 plugin to program it in Lua, but it didn't work and I didn't have time, and I had all the random stuff issues with the Mesa driver and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna just check for questions one more time. Okay, I don't see any questions really. Rob Vandenberg says, Unfa runs a Cray supercluster computer, so CPU isn't the problem. I have a Ryzen 7 1700 CPU in this, so it can handle this stuff. I probably could go down with the buffer size, but my live streaming script sets it to 1024 samples, because if I play heavy ardor sessions, it really is required to get a smooth sound playback. And I just didn't want to mess with this because it can break things sometimes, Gragaras the Greg says, well, I see that Carla is pretty good for live performance, so I wonder whether I can make some live beatbox performance, stuff like that. Oh, I did something like that. However, I didn't use Carla, I used Super Looper. But you could also use Carla, change of different things and add effects and play with reverb and delay on your vocals and stuff, and yeah. Takoman asks, what do you think about music reviewing and curation websites like Pitchfork and Rate Your Music? I found it very useful for finding new music. I've never discovered this, actually. I've heard of the Pitchfork, but I never went there to search for music. Usually I just search on YouTube and explore and try to find interesting artists and stuff. Lightline says, I find music through YouTube. Yeah, that's same as me. By the way, if you want to ask me a question, type my name, unfa, in it, so it's going to be easier for me to find it, because that highlights in the chat for me, and, you know, I can just... Psychedelic unfa. Oh, yes. I mean, I'm not into drugs. I don't take drugs, never took drugs. I don't want to take drugs, but this is fun. I think you can enjoy this without any... Alpha, have you ever used Reaper? I did. I did some work with Reaper. It's nice. So the plugin window is so ugly. Rob Vandenberg says it's impossible to not like Reaper. Yeah, I used Reaper and Cubase at some job. It turned out it was a con job, but, well, what you gonna do? Alrighty, I think the time is coming closer for the user submissions. You're playing for 585 beats. Oh, just 17 minutes, not that much. Yep, I'm going to zip it all and put it on GitHub, I think, or maybe Google Drive. Yeah, this is now background music. Let's see if... Ah, snap. Oh, wait. Does this work? It's gonna work. I'm sampling your music right now. So that was the second performance, I guess. It's fun. I'm having fun. I think I'll try to extend on that. And who knows, maybe I'll prepare a live performance for Sonoy next year. I was thinking about that. I've heard the guys wanted to maybe do something like that. So I could prepare a much more elaborate setup. So, I don't know how much more elaborate I could make it on my laptop, but a name I can't pronounce because I can't read these characters says, Unfa, have you tried any minimal Unix installs like Arch Linux? I installed Gentoo once, and I got GNOME or GNOME running on it. But I couldn't build Ardor or LMMS, so I dumped it. That was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. Whew. Garoslav asks, wait, so what's this about user submissions? The thing is, you can submit your music through a Google form. The link is usually in the description of the live streams, and I also post it sometimes on Mastodon and such. You can put your stuff in the form, and I will play your music, basically, if it's good enough, that is. If it really, really sucks, I'm gonna politely say, you're not just up to standard. But I'm gonna try to give you some feedback and help you get better. And I will encourage you to resubmit again. Submit your next new work once you feel you've made some significant progress. And yeah, at the end of every live stream, I'm playing your submissions and I'm giving you live comments on what's going on and how do I feel about it and what I think could be improved, what I like, what I don't like, how I think your feet smell and stuff like that.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet.
This is Your Captain Speaking. That's the title of the track. By Spicy Chicken Studios. It was made with LMMS and Audacity, which was used to edit the audio samples.
Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking with just a little flight information. Coming up on the left, we're going to be catching a glimpse of the Grand Canyon. Couple little facts here, unpacking a Colt King Cobra, that's a .357 caliber firearm with a black rubber grip.
I'm listening to that sample.
Put a hole in human bone and flesh the size of the Grand Canyon, which, by the way, is coming up on the left-hand side of the plane.
I've lost the live stream chat. Give it back.
So just sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the flight.
Okay, let's see. I like the melodies a lot and like the whole composition. I think I'm gonna stop our live. Oh snap. Sorry.
I'm gonna be butt ass naked for the one who just be hitting my balls.
So that was Your Captain Speaking by Spicy Chicken Studios. Oh my goodness, sorry. And this is a track called Scratches by Vulnere. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. It was created with LMMS. I wonder if this kick is sampled or synthesized. You guys still there? Oh yeah. Anticlimactic drop, yeah, reverse drop. It seems to have proper dynamics. There's a little lack of motion to me, like there could be something more happening right now. I'm waiting for a change now. There it is. Gorghosts8 asks, where can I send my songs? The link is in the live stream description. Read it up. On the Discord there's a pinned message where you can also find this link. I like this. The track was 5 minutes long. I had to cut it down because I only play 3 minutes for every track. And this is an ambient track, I would say. Maybe I'm mistaken, but for me it's ambient. So this is called Things Unknown by Strange Animals. It was created with Ardor, Helm, Zyn-Fusion and Gion Kick. He also writes that this track was part of his submission for National Solo Album Month. I don't know what's at it. What is that? Where you make a solo album during the month of November. Oh. I've heard about this. He never made music before, and this is his first time going to music production. And he chose to use entirely open source software and Linux. This is really good for something made by someone who never made music before. It's kind of hard to believe it, actually, because this is very simple but also very musical to me. Real pleasant vibes. Oh, Strange Animals is here. Oh, he says, He mistakenly mentioned Gion Kick. He was thinking of a different track. Nice. And there's some glitch here. This is called Deep Summer Sea, one word, by ST. Made with ardor. And he says, make glitch music! Written like in French. This is cool. I love the rhythms here. The stereo image is really weird. It's like one of the channels is in... It has inverted polarity. It's a bit unpleasant in the headphones to listen to. But that might be intentional. That was cool! Oh, we have a slight bass line. I'm looking forward for this part. What's gonna be there? Yay! Liking these glitches. Wow. There's a very weird background synthesizer, or whatever it is. Really interesting. Oh, that was brilliant. I love that. Oh, now, after something so heavy, we get these chilly chords, keys. Beautiful. I love it. I'd love to see the project file for this. I really... So RS, if you're watching, I hope you are. Would you record a screencast of your track? Show us how it's made? I'd love to see that. Do I hear farts in this track? Asks Outer Mind. I don't. So that was Deep Summer Sea, one word by ST. And now something different. So the artist also presents himself with two letters. This is RS. And the track is called Leaver. Like someone who leaves, I guess. Or maybe something to lift things. I don't know. Vandenberg says, Outermind, that was me, sorry about the farts. That's interesting. Weird. It maintains this RS's weird, kind of detuned sound. Combining kind of synthwave with chiptune. Oh, are we going microtonal or what? That wasn't entirely different key. What's going on? This is getting crazy. It's getting crazier about a minute. I really like the rhythms here. I think we're tuning back. What's going on? This really challenges my perception of tonality. But in a good way. Holy snap, I love that. That bass is cool. Wow. I want to hear more of that. That was so cool. And we gotta fade it out because it's already 3 minutes. Gotta give the time to others also. So that was Lever by RS, made with Ardor. I want to see that track. And this is a short one. It's called PTB10-Intro by Lifeline. It was made with LMS. I like the rhythms here. There's a big dip in the mids, in the basses. I think they are lacking some mids. Oh, this is a remix. This is a heavy work in progress also, not finished. And it ends abruptly. And now, Patax. The track is called Bright, made with LMS. And it's freaking sausage. There's no dynamics at all. Yeah, I wish there was some more headroom. There is no headroom. But I like the sound. I like the chords. This is beautiful. Peter and Gallop says, dynamics. Am I a joke to you? Yeah, this has no dynamics at all. But if you don't look at it, it sounds pretty okay. That was intense. So that was Bright by Patax. Dude, give Peaks a chance. I want to see more dynamics in your music. But that was awesome. And this is a track called It. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. By Kilgore. And he made this with LMS. Oh, you guys sent me. You sent me a wave. I didn't have time, unfortunately, to download the wave. I like the drums a bit. Whoa. What's a sub bass? I think we're approaching some drop.
Where did you get those clothes?
Oh yeah. This is Eurofunk, I love it. I think the mix could be a bit more balanced. Some of the sounds are much louder than others. And also, I think the EQ is kind of a bit all over the place. Like you could bring together the mix by balancing the EQ a bit. And maybe compressing the sounds a bit more.
I saw that.
I don't know.
Rick killed the guy.
It still sounds pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like
Horses, a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident. Rick, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You should find yourself a safe house or a relative close by. Lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder.
I love this. How do you make that? I'm curious. I'd like to see the project file too for this one. Could be a little bit more variation at this point. I'm starting to wait for the next switch up or something. Right now. And it ends pretty abruptly. All of it. That was It by Kilgore. And this is called Slide by Cassoulet. It was made with Ardor, Helm, including drums, and a few instances of Yoshimi, which is a fork of the Nuts of FX. So drums are made with Helm. That's gonna be interesting. Oh, it's speeding up. That's a rarely used trick. And now it slows down. Okay, I expected some heavy drums and a drop after that, but nope. Huh, subverted my expectations. And it speeds up again. Wow, that's really interesting. Day 36, still no drums, says Rob Vandenberg. Please, snare. Give me a snare. Yeah, I want a snare. All this could drop so hard, like a half-time Neurofunk. No, no snare! But I like the hi-hats. Lifeline says, I want all of this on vinyl tape. It's a meme. The hi-hats make the lack of other drums even worse. 404 on the snare. snare roll. Am I a joke to you? Here it comes. No, it doesn't come. No, I had to fade it out. But really not much. We didn't lose anything. Drum kits were sold out. Yes, that was very interesting, very intense, but also a bit disappointing. We expected a drop or something, and there was none. So that was Slide by Cassoulet. And now, it sounds very hard and analog. This is called Hash 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 by Carla. Oh, I like that sound. Sorry, Calx. It was made with Ardor. That is a comp filter, I can tell you. Really fun. This sounds like you're using all analog drum stuff and synthesizers. Wow. Really analog sounds. Lifeline says, here are some drums now. Karoslav says, that tubed perk. In the copy? It could be in a copy. It's a pretty minimal so far. I'm hoping for some more movement, but you know, if it's minimal, it's minimal. What you gonna do if it's minimal? Ooh, liking these pads. Fat analog deep house, yeah. Much saturation indeed. I like this pad in the background. I wonder if that's sampled or synthesized. This gives me a lot of nostalgia, especially for the tracker scene. This pad reminds me of the tracker music from Unreal and Unreal Tournament, the first one. But the drums remind me of Aphex Twin's selected ambient works. Really, just very close to that. I'd really like to know more about this project. How did it look? So he said he's used Ardor. We know nothing more. I wish to know more. Calx, give us some more info. Or maybe make a screencast of this. I'd love to see the project. Especially since it's made in Ardor. This could have been a live jam, actually. You know? I mean, I can imagine this being performed live. This is so heavy. This reminds me of LFO, the band. So that was Hash 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 by Calx. And now Ksawery Treningowski returns with Bass Note, work in progress, made with Ardor. He told me he recorded the electric bass and used an LV2 amp. This is full of bass, actually, like the bass overpowers everything else. It sounds a bit like if you made the bass like 20 decibels too loud and then squashed everything with a limiter. But I love the vocals. Oh, and the pad in the background. I wonder if that's Zyn Sub effects. Do I hear... Is that a hydrogen drum kit? This is really weird, but I love it. So that was Bass Note by Ksawery Treningowski. And now, the last track for today. It's called... Well, it's not called anything yet. The title is to be announced. The artist is called Adventurer. This was made with LMS, and I can tell you, this is an This is an alias of Outer Mind. He says this is his new alias for non-hardstyle tracks, and this one is, I think, kind of classic trance. Oh, these snare rolls. I don't know trance too much, but this sounds like early 2000s to me. I mean, I listened a bit to it about that time. Yeah, that sounds very old school. I like these transitions. Rob Vandenberg says, it's making me feel young. Pastellini Genie asks, does a beer recipe posted online counts as open source beer? I think it does. Certainly it does. Oh, for your information, adventurer. So that's not written adventurer. Adventurer. Yeah. He's got some flow. This discussion about beer makes me remember I'm out of beer and we gotta end here. All right, that's it. I want to thank you all for coming and joining me in this adventure. It was really an adventure. I was really it was so hard to get this stream actually happening. Wow, I had so much trouble, but we made it through, and I'm happy. Hopefully you will be inspired to make some live music setups, maybe with Sequencer 64 and Carla and Don Mixer or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm clogged up my nose. Thanks to all the people who submitted their music and set themselves in line of my critique, and also to everyone who attended, and also huge thanks to everyone who supports my work on Patreon and LiberaPay, because these guys really helped me justify taking time out of my work to do this, and I love to do this, and I want to do it more. But life is hard, so yeah, that support is much appreciated, and I hope to be making some more videos soon, and I hope to take the stuff I've shown you today on this live stream and polish it, condense it a bit more, and make some videos. So it's easier to digest and also can spread a bit wider. Lifeline asks, how long does unfa intend to stay up? Well, do you mean like during the live stream? We are over time. It's 2 minutes over time. We should end this right here. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you, do you remember a video where I soldered these? Or rather, when I soldered this? You remember that? That was a few years ago, before I was married. Yeah? So it's freaking broken again. I need to solder it again. That's why I'm not using these headphones, but using these Porta Pros by COS. So my soldering sucks! Gotta up my soldering game. Oh man, that was cool. Oh, you know what? I really shouldn't have. I should have done this. and go out with a beat. Alrighty, so thank you all so much for coming, for submitting your music, for listening, for watching, for letting me go get my coffee, because I was just troubleshooting until the last second. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed all that. I'm gonna upload this live session on, I don't know, GitHub or Google Drive, whatever. I'm gonna make it public so you can play around with it, including the script, and I hope you can come up with some cool things to do. And I will see you in the next video and the next live stream. Until then, go and make some music. Możesz otworzyć. Generalnie jest outro już. Czekam aż... Wow, dziękuję ci, kochanie. Nie ma kamery żadnej. Poza tą, co mi pokazuje tutaj. Dziękuję ślicznie. Dało się, wiesz? Tak, tylko jeszcze chcę skończyć ten... Jeszcze 18 osób słucha, rozumiesz?
Zjedz ją.
Już
Bo
ją
już
zjem.
jest bardzo późno. Poza tym jestem pewna, że jest sporo ludzi, która nigdy w życiu nie pójdzie, dopóki będziesz grał, więc no musisz zakończyć. Już ci to kiedyś mówiono, że